O God, by working as a carpenter, your Son enhanced the dignity of human labor, and in a wonderful way joined us through our own toil to the work of redemption. Through the blessing they seek, strengthen your faithful. Give to those who are employed in skillfully transforming the things you have created a sense of their own dignity. Make them content in their dedication to bettering the human family in praise of your name. We ask you to bless this event, but more importantly, to bless whatever the national commercial company, continental company does for the city of Montego Bay, for their employees, for the people who benefit, and for the products. We ask the Lord to please let your Holy Spirit and your holy angels occupy their minds, their bodies, and their souls in trying to do the best they can to give Jamaica the best. As we join each other in saying that wonderful prayer you taught us. Oh, Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And as we say, Lord, we know He is here. Hallelujah. He is here. Amen. He is here. Holy, holy, I will bless his name again. He is here. Listen closely. Hear him calling out your name. He is here. You can touch him. You will never be the same. And may Almighty God bless all of us, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Please join me in welcoming Craig Hendrickson, Director of Sales and Marketing at National Bakery, to introduce a new tradition.
Morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Monsignor, I might need you for this one, but I'm also not trying to take away your job. So, as a part of the celebration of my grandfather and the legacy he has created, I would like to introduce a new tradition of breaking bread with the national family. Breaking bread is an act of collaboration. There is shared expectation involved, special consideration shown to others, and the unspoken desire that everyone at the table gets their fair share. This spirit of collaboration and togetherness has fueled our company's journey. It is what we do every day at National. It is who we are and who we want to be. By breaking bread with our neighbors, we stay grounded in our community, listen to each other, and gain insight into the needs and wants of our nation. It is while breaking bread that the walls come down and we get a rare chance to know each other as human beings. This act not only pays homage to our founder's visionary spirit, but also serves as a poignant reminder of the bonds forged over time. Now, we invite the Most Honorable Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, to lead us in our new tradition of breaking bread. I also take pleasure inviting my grandparents and other members of the family to participate. As we gather to celebrate this special event, let the simple yet profound act of breaking bread symbolize the enduring strength of our community and the continued success that stems from our shared values and commitment to excellence. bread.
Thank you, Craig. That's a beautiful new tradition. It is my pleasure to invite the boss man himself, Mr. H, to speak about the expansion into Montego Bay. Welcome, Mr. H. Please give him a round of applause.
Bethany, thank you, but I have this hard over it. Put it this way, if it wasn't good, I could have swallowed it a long time ago. It's good. You can squeeze it up and that means it's good. Or is it the flour that's good? Where Derek? Derek's going, yeah, it's the flour. The flour. PM, Deputy PM, Honorable Mark, Ministers, and my good friend Desmond McKenzie. I just told the PM that you haven't cussed me since before COVID. I haven't seen you since before COVID, so, I mean, YD, you don't know how I miss you quarreling with me on the phone. It was a really exciting time. Minister Dunn, good to see you here. You've been a cheerleader since before we did the first plan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mom and Dad, happy birthday. Happy birthday. 94. That's mine? Oh, that's cool. Just water or something else? No, just water. All right, thank you. All right. Prime Minister, this facility is a huge step for us as we work for a brighter future for our customers, our staff, and indeed Jamaica. It continues our tradition of constant growth. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time at National for about 900 years when my father had Eddie, Sidney, and Baz. Mason, carpenter, steel worker. So basically, he never stopped building. There was never a time when National at halfway tree would stop building. Now you don't have a choice because we don't have any room left in the place. You can't fall down in that place. Andrew Holness couldn't fall down in there, too tall. He's going to hit something on the way down. He will not be able to just fall and hit the ground. It's almost impossible. So it continues our tradition of constant growth. That's a new mile marker for us. For the journey and the impact we still hope to make. The journey we're on, to build a Catherine Hall, a logical choice. Probably help you know, but if you took it out of the folder. Brilliant. And of course, this was driven firstly by the need to satisfy a growing demand. So our $6.7 billion investment will have the capacity to produce over 3,600 loaves an hour. It's going to be a fast plant, it's going to be a quick plant, it's going to be a very efficient plant. Am I not close enough to the microphone? Okay. then you guys just say so. Ray, you should say something. Yeah. The new facility will also stimulate regional growth and efficiently distribute to St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne's, Hanover, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. This is part of our ongoing commitment to delivering fresh product to these areas in as short a time frame as possible. And in our business, hours matter. Hours matter. Additionally, this 120,000 square foot plant further enhances our capability to export using the Montego Freeport facilities when possible in the years to come. It's going to open new opportunities of tonnage, production tonnage, and logistics, and it will allow us to better meet the demands of our growing international markets. It is intended, Prime Minister, that this be as modern a facility and technically advanced as anywhere else on planet Earth. We're installing the most sophisticated equipment available, and this will be computer-aided equipment controlled by advanced software, and will take out the most laborious tasks in the bakery business. And the bakery business has laborious, repetitive tasks. We're going to take them out. And this will allow our management to focus on quality, plant efficiencies, and most importantly, Minister Dunn, the well-being of our team. Most importantly. We'll incorporate the use of robotics for the first time in our businesses. And these will go into the repetitive processes that just human beings just can't do anymore. So we're going to maximize efficiency there. We're going to use advanced production processes with current generation robots at key places in the plant. These robots, they are operating parameters are very precise. They run on 4 axes. I only need 4 axes, Zaka. I don't need 6. And the repeatability of 0.005% millimeters at 12 meters a second of movement. That's our repeatability. That's very accurate for what. Honestly, it's too accurate for what we want, but it's like buying a black and white TV. Yeah, you can't buy a black and white television anymore. You either buy this or you buy something even more accurate, and we don't need that. And Dad, this is going to kill you. We're going to have a controlled environment, air conditioned, in the mixing and makeup areas. Something you could only dream about. Dream about it. And what is interesting, the mixing and makeup areas of this new plant is probably about 1.5 times the size of your original halfway tree plant, just mixing and makeup. And it's a different game. And we're looking forward to that one, and the control and the repeatability on the process, naturally. The Catherine Hall facility will initially generate 75% highly skilled jobs. Highly skilled. From the production through to the initial roots. The initial root system will be small, it will grow. As it grows, for every root, you add 2.5 jobs. You have 1 internally for logistics and production. You have 2 on the truck. So and then you bring in the sales supervision, that multiplies out. And that's how we've grown to 840 people in Kingston. Because we're running 100 and plenty routes, and just the sales support and the supervision out there it just adds up a lot to a lot of people. The candidates for these 75 jobs will undergo extensive training, ladies and gentlemen, in processes and equipment operation. The selection process will be extremely rigorous, and it has to be for what we're aiming. We're aiming to open the doors of our FDA-approved plant. We're not going to have to get certified. We're going to become certificated on day 1. So from the day we open that plant, it's going to be FDA approved. We're going to meet every standard, and it's our intention to keep it and exceed it. We've survived in business for 71 years due to the trust our customers have placed in us to consistently and reliably produce and deliver the finest products. We'll work very hard to keep that faith. We've had a front row seat, especially over the last 30 years, as the Jamaican consumer's diet has made a huge shift towards our brown wheat and grain loaves. Minister Tufton, you will be pleased to know that we've seen our soft bread production line go from a 78% white bread line. Think Weekender, that's king bread. I grew up on Weekender. I say it wasn't that bad. I didn't really grow up. I mean, I was raised on Weekender. I still haven't grown up. I probably never will. We've gone from 78% straight white flour, 22% wheat bran, and now we're 20% white. And we're 80% wheat bran and grains, and we're going to whole grains, and those just keep improving. We'll work with Paula and Derek, and we'll get our more proprietary mixes coming up over the next couple of years. We're rolling out new products. Hardo, Prime Minister, is the mind blower. 30 years ago, Hardo was 97%. I'm trying to remember the actual figures. It was 97% white. 97% white. I'm trying to remember the figures because I used to see the figures of I'm trying to remember the crippled figures and work backwards on a percentage. Today, Hardo is almost 50-50. Now, to be Jamaican about it, me never thought I'd ever say the day where Jamaican people start to eat brown Hardo. Unbelievable. But I think we're eating smarter, and we hope to be part of the supply for that smarter diet. We will continue to develop healthier alternatives, and as we reduce our sugars and increase our grains, we hope for success in those products. The bottom line here, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before, and I really am serious about this. The bottom line here, it's not okay for the children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of our family to eat it. It will not be made or distributed by this company. We're not going to do it. That is my yardstick. Minister Malaluford, we intend to be, and we're determined to be, good neighbors to the residents of Catherine Hall, as well as a good corporate citizen of Jamaica. We will do our best to minimize noise in our operations. We will minimize environmental impact through the use of USLD, ultra-low sulfur diesel. Even when our vehicles do not require it, we are going to take that extra expense and do it. I think it's the right thing to do. We will be using electric delivery vehicles and sales supervision cars wherever and whenever it is possible to do so. No air horns. There are no air horns on any truck owned by this company, and they will never have air horns on them. We are not going to add to the noise. An air horn does not make you go faster. It does not help the truck stop better. It does nothing except make noise, in my opinion. We will only use battery-powered material handling equipment, forklifts or stackers in our warehouses and yards. We will continue our no idle policy with all our vehicles. You stop the truck, you stop the car, turn it off. Do not sit there and idle. Not allowed. Our trucks will continue to be governed, speed governed, whenever and wherever it is possible to do so. We're going to do it. The factory roof is being constructed to accommodate solar panels, which will be installed over time. We will continue to expand our current usage of biodegradable packaging as new substrate materials are developed, mostly coming out of the EU and, not surprisingly, China. Currently, all our polyethylene bags are biodegradable, and they have been for 21 years. No, I'm sorry, 12 years. Turn that one backwards, folks. My apologies. We currently recycle all our bread trays. They're all recycled and sent back to be redone in the States. We will be installing even newer generation of bulk flower handling equipment, Derek. And as you know, our current equipment in Kingston already saves us way over 150,000 bags a year. So that's just less to add to the landfill. We will do our best to operate without disturbing others. We want to be seen and never heard. Our commitment to adopt good environmental practices that will meet or exceed world standards is firm. We are committed to do that. It's anticipated in 2025 we will have Catherine Hall available. And this aligns us with a broader strategy of the company. It includes a new distribution center in Mandeville, which is already underway, close to completion, as well as others. As many of you know, Nationals are fourth generation family. Well, the noise over there might be coming from the half, or maybe it's 4.5 generations of us. It was founded by my grandfather, Reg, in Magotty sometime in the 1920s, 1927. It was founded on the principles of quality, hard work, community. Grandpa started his bakery, and then it was called Paramount. They worked at it, Grandma and Grandpa, and they were so successful they were able to move to Mandeville for great opportunity in 1943. And that was the first national bakery. The move to Kingston in 1952 was a direct result of Dad's discovery of mechanical bread making. Before and today, as the basis of our hard dough production, we're still using a dough break. It's a milling machine. We still use it. But he didn't start by making hard dough. He started by making what they call conventional sliced pan bread out of the United States. And so he went, and on the weekends he worked Canadian bread, Canada bread, and he saw this and he learned it. So instead of coming home with an MD at the back of his name, he came home with my mother. And the knowledge of mechanical bread making. There's a joke here. My mom just reminded me. She said when he came back and decided, first of all, you had to get permission to buy this equipment, Minister Harris, because being an English colony, you know, we had to buy English equipment. English equipment couldn't make this bread. It couldn't make it. This is high-speed dough mixing, refrigerated jackets, things like that. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't handle that level of hydration in the dough. That's why they call it soft bread. So Dad orders this equipment. He's put it together, and Grandpa says to him, "Where is the dough break?" So he's trying to explain to my grandfather now, who started business in the 20s. This is now the end of the 40s, the early 50s. He's going to tell Master Reg, "No, I don't need a dough break." And of course, then it broke loose. You can't make bread without a dough break. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I think he bought a dough break to keep Grandpa quiet. I think he stuck it out there behind the stable somewhere, but he bought it. And that dough break was probably the size of this. Probably the size of this. Maybe a 3.5, 5 horsepower motor. Our dough breaks today are about from myself, distance from myself to the PM, and it's run by a 40 horsepower motor. So things have evolved. But Grandpa couldn't believe it. Well, Dad did it, made it mechanized. He was the first to offer sliced bread, and then he was the first to offer sliced and wrapped bread. He has always insisted that the business decisions should be led by the needs of our customers. Well, I'll tell you what, I think that maybe in most cases I was right. These are customers, but in this case, I dare say they weren't sure that they needed sliced and packaged bread, but guess what? He did it, and the rest is history, you know. The rest is all history. You can imagine selling bread without being packaged today. Not going to happen. So that again, today, very important day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Throughout the years, you have always tried to gain as much knowledge as possible. A sponge. gain as much. Find out about the distribution side, find out about the manufacturing side, get into the equipment, look at it. Cut your fingers off, cut your toes off, guilty. Get hurt, get damaged. You're going to learn. And I was lucky enough to be able to do that. He has never been afraid to learn. He was never afraid to make mistakes, and Lord knows he wasn't afraid to fail. We both have a wonderful thing. You heard of all the products that we launched that didn't work, right? No. Well, one in particular, we spent more money on the launch and the entire revenue from the sales of the product during the life cycle of that. We spent more on the launch by 2. But that's business. You're not going to hit them every time. In the late 50s, a wonderful friendship with a gentleman called Eric Digman blossomed, and it pushed him into the cracker and biscuit market. Then in the 60s, the company's membership in the QBA, Quality Bakers of America, allowed us to have master bakers from that association live and work with us in Jamaica. They lived here, they worked here. They trained our people in the everyday processes of running new modern plants. And the knowledge transfer was priceless. That generation of people have since retired. And now we have to train a new generation on different things because we're using far more technology. But on a personal basis, my bonanza came when IT&T Continental joined forces with the family. And this was in the late 60s. And why was it special for me? Well, as a teenager, I had a great privilege and luck, just flat out luck, to work with men who were probably the finest bakery engineers of their time. Back in the late 60s, these gentlemen were running single-line bread plants for 80 a minute. Today it's now 160. But 80 a minute, and those days was so fast, it was unbelievable. Because Prime Minister, it's not hard to make it, you know, you can bake it. The hard part is you try to slice it at 80 a minute, it ain't gonna happen. It just doesn't work that way. So I was so lucky to work with them. Weldon Clark, Ed Hildebrand Jr., Earl Toby, just a few people. Earl Toby was the man who invented the creaming machine for Twinkies. He worked for Continental Baking. And I never fully appreciated what I was learning. Didn't quite understand what's happening. And the knowledge stayed with me. Somehow, a little bit of it stayed with me long enough. So when I assumed the responsibility of the plant in 1994, what you might have thought was difficult, I thought was a joke. Why? I saw them do that. Because in the association with Continental, I got to travel to any Continental plant I wanted to go to. I literally had the free run to walk in and walk out of any plant. And of course, I just learned how to do things. So when my eureka moments came, luckily I was ready to take it and move it forward. And I realized what had taken place in the 60s and 70s, Prime Minister, were just priceless. There weren't problems. There were small little things we had to overcome. Starting in the 70s also, my father's great friendship with a man called Russell Bundy has evolved into what is now a 3-generational relationship with that family. Dad and Russ, myself and Russ, but his sons, and Craig with one of Russ's grandsons. So 3 generations. And, you know, that's another priceless thing. We've been able to get into so many plants because this is after the continental relationship ended, Prime Minister. And we were able to get into so many plants just on the power of the Bundy name. Just being able to call, and Jim is here with us today, representative family. Jim, just thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making an effort. And please take our love back to them. Because I don't know how many things we would not have seen had it not been for that relationship. And if you would, PM, just give him a little permission to take some warmth and sunshine back with him to Ohio when he leaves on Wednesday morning. Jim, you have it. You're gone clear. You have nothing to worry about. Leave the sand on the beach. You can't move that. So our friendship with that family allowed us to get into factories, and most importantly, allowed my staff my staff from Halfway Tree to visit these plants. And you can't buy that, PM. You can't. What you can see in one walk through a plant that applies to your plant in Kingston, you can't find that in a textbook. And every plant is different. Every line has its own different quirks. So there's so many other supplier relationships over the years. The Jamaica Flour Mills, Industrial Chemicals, Seprod, Worthy Park, Advanced Skills, National Supply, Tankwell, Wisinco, ATL Motors, ATL Air Conditioning, just to name a few. LS Haney, Hawkeye, go on, folks. We've had wonderful supplier relationships. Everything except the insurance companies, which are now, they're here by, I think his name is Zaka. Chris Zaka. And you notice, I want to take very careful note of this. He's sitting beside another banker. They have to sit together. It's called the circle of protection. Eva, thank you. Thank you for coming on this side of the island. That is an innovator, a patriot. At his core, we believe the quality my father best embodies is that of customer centricity. He put himself in the customer's shoes and tried to improve their experience. We have strived and we'll continue to strive. We'll probably never succeed to satisfy me because, as Mark Adams will tell you, every time you hit it, I'm going to move the bar. I know it's not fair, but Jacques said the road not level either. We have strived to do that. We have learned that the customer feedback is as good as gold, Prime Minister. We continue to ensure that National provides solutions that answer our customers' needs in a timely but efficient manner. The consumers never ever pay for our inefficiencies. We must gauge our plants, we must set the standard in the plant, and we must run that at that efficiency. If you don't, somebody's going to pay for your inefficiencies. And we have never done that, certainly not since 1952, and we're not going to start it now. As a matter of fact, we try and make it even more efficient. Listening and responding has allowed National to evolve and grow alongside our customers, and that has been one of our driving forces. But before I close, I'd like to thank the thousands of grocers, small and large, the vendors who support our sales systems across Ireland, in the United Kingdom, in the United States, Canada, and in the Eastern Caribbean. You have stuck with us through thick and thin, and some of us, like Sing Chin, even will pick up the phone and cuss me when you guys don't get there on time. So please, I can't take him cussing because he's not like me. I'm a gentle person when I speak to you. He cusses at you. Right? I can't have that. It bothers me when you do that. We are forever grateful to our Jamaican consumers who have trusted us with their diet for over 70 years. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. Brian and Sheila couldn't make it. They went on honeymoon over the New Year's and got sick, and they're still sick in Miami, and I told him to stay where he was, because whatever he has, I don't want. I just spoke to Max and Ben and Mike said, yep, I agree, make him stay up in there. Anyway, you'll have peace and quiet at home if you don't have him here. Mark, Natalia, Chris, Mark, Natalia, and Chris are the hotel group out of St. Lucia. Guys, thank you for doing the doctor's visit today. Thank you so much. Folks, they run a little property in St. Lucia of which I am extremely proud of. We've done so well with it through the tough times and everything. Marcus, thank you. Nat, thank you. Oh, where's Chris? Chris is somewhere here. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Adam, thanks for making it. But that means you could have brought, I know you brought Don. What happened to Granny P? Addy? I don't know, you know. And everybody else who made the trip. I know it's a tough thing on a Monday morning, especially first Monday back at school, for those others who still have kids in school. But thank you so much. It means the world to me that you're here. And PM, I don't owe them money, trust me. I don't know. I think. Richard, no? Okay, I don't owe you the money. Derek? No, I always owe you money. As a Jamaican company, Prime Minister, we remain totally committed, along with Glenn Christian, to our support of the early childhood education system and STEM education. And I say Glenn here because Glenn has caught me in so many different traps. I thought I'd do it publicly now. And since the JI says, cameras on me, Glenn, you're in trouble now. What Glenn and myself have done this, and we will continue to do it. National will continue to support early childhood and continue to support STEM and the growth of STEM and the paths to STEM wherever possible. We will. We will, because we have to. I have no choice. Continue to work work alongside the mustard seed communities. And Father, I'm sorry, you see everybody's downgrading you. Monsignor Gregory, who I've known, my gosh, in March it'll be 44 years. 44 years I've known Monsignor when he was simply Father. And we know, and we continue to work alongside each other, along with Sister Benedict Chung, Andrew Mafood, who couldn't be here today, and his team at Food for the Poor. The commitments are there; they'll continue. And there's so many others that we will continue to support. We think it's the right thing to do. Also, we are going to restart this year our Bowl Runs program. That program over the years, ministers, helped 34 companies. And from what we understand, the best numbers that we can get, Stephen Sykes, who couldn't be here today, because we're facing an FDA inspection tomorrow morning at 3:30. So everybody on deck down there, making sure we don't get spanked too hard. And we're going to fail some things, we know that. We're not that perfect, but we'll fix them. So for 34 years, Prime Minister, 34 companies were able to create what Stephen is estimating between 500 and 600 jobs. If you ask Mohan Jagnarin at Spurtree, was one of our first Bowl Runs military, I think Mohan will tell you that just Spurtree, in Spurtree itself proper, but the supporting services and farmers to it, way over 100 right there. So the program can create jobs, and we are recommitting to it after COVID. We're getting it, and we will not use COVID as an excuse for anything ever again. No more. We never allowed it. We never closed. Proud to tell you, PM, you know that. We never closed one day in COVID. Not one day. Dedicated staff and management kept it running. So we're going to restart Bowl Runs. And we look forward to some winners. We had some winners out of it. We had a couple of guys, a couple of folks went on the Junior Stock Exchange coming out of that program, and we expect to have more. We think it's the only way to grow the SMEs. We're going to have to get up and big brother them a little bit. I can't run the places for them. What we can do is help them with things like marketing and promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, the customer comes first. Done, finish. Comes first. Our staff comes second. Everything else in that company I can replace. I cannot replace my customers, and as bold as we are to be sometimes as owners and operators, we cannot replace the staff. Just a fact of life. And so therefore, we remain unapologetically Jamaican. We are going to do what is right, what we believe is right for our country. And I want to thank you, every one of you, for joining us this morning. It is very important that you made the effort. And I know for most of you who do not live in the Republic of the Second City, it is a big, big commitment. So thank you for coming down and enjoying it. I want to tell you something. We will go into the future totally guided by the spirit of innovation with an unwavering dedication to our customers and our staff. Thank you very much for being here today. I look forward to seeing when that first loaf of bread comes off of that oven. To me, that's going to be my big day. I look forward to it very much. Bethany got lazy, so Bethany says in her own way, Bethany says, why do I have to come back up here? Why don't you just introduce CPM? Why don't you CPM? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be a little bit, can I be different from everybody else? Ladies and gentlemen, our Prime Minister, Honorable Andrew Holness, give it up for him.
Butch is a hard act to follow. But I'm going to try. I'm constrained to repeat my wish for a peaceful, happy, prosperous new year, because I genuinely believe it will be so. I believe 2024 will be our breakthrough year. It will be the year for Jamaica. The theme for my administration for 2024 will be peace, productivity, prosperity. It may sound wishful, but I think we all want to see peace in our land. And the more peace we have, the more productive we will be. And the more productive we are, yes, the greater our prosperity. And the greater our prosperity, the greater our peace, the greater our peace, the greater our productivity. So this is the year when we will have a virtuous cycle. And it is something that we have to work towards. We have to be deliberate and instrumental in this. So I accepted the invitation to participate in this ceremony because the National Baking Company, Carl, and the entire Hendrickson family has played a pivotal role in Jamaica's productivity. I think you would all agree with me that Carl is one of our foremost industrialists. I mean, he has taken, along with his family, a simple but one of the most important manufacturing process, the creation of bread. And he has turned it into a major industry in Jamaica. So I'm here, Carl, to celebrate your birthday. 94 years is significant in the lifetime of anything. But you have lived it well. And you can reflect on your years as being productive years. When you consider the industries that you have added, whether it is in manufacturing, in agriculture, in tourism, the Hendrickson's name stands tall. And so all Jamaica owes you a debt of gratitude. And I stand there on behalf of Jamaica on your 94th birthday to express our gratitude. But it is not a selfish expression of productivity. You know, in our society, and you know Mark is here, and so I have to, you know, throw a little shade at him. Friendly banter. You know, when I use the term industrialist, there are those who immediately feel that the reward of capital is selfish. That, you know, profit remains with the entrepreneur and it's not socialized. And in our experience, sometimes we view capitalists as a bad thing and profit as a bad thing. And there are many cases of that, without question. And there are many cases of, you know, rapaciousness. But when you speak of Carl Hendrickson as an industrialist, as a manufacturer, you must, and with Butch as well, you must acknowledge that the family has given back significantly to Jamaica. Some years ago, Carl made a donation to Jamaica College in building that fantastic auditorium, which I've used on many occasions, and I'm certain Mark has used it too. Has given back to the education system with early childhood contributions and STEM. But it's more than just the good corporate social responsibility through philanthropy, but it is the type of business that they practice. As I listened to Butch explain the plans to come, I'm certain, like me, you were all very impressed. I heard you say, Butch, that you're going to have robots replace humans. I was just teasing you, Butch. No such thing. In fact, this new plant of $6.7 billion will increase employment directly and indirectly in the area. You will probably have about 80 new employees in the plant, or more than that. But you will integrate technology in the plant to improve productivity. As you have said it, repetitive and routine actions, those will be replaced by technology. And therefore, the quality of the workforce that you will have will be a higher level trained workforce to take on higher order technical skills. Translates into higher paid jobs, which is good. But the philosophy of putting, and Mark will love this one, putting people first. The philosophy of putting the workers first and the consumers first in ensuring that their needs are met. That is an enlightened industrialist. That is what is going to make the product the embodiment of the spirit. And I use that point to digress into another era, which maybe it hasn't been said enough, but it should be said. Jamaica's biggest asset are our people. And our people create value cumulatively, which we describe as the brand. we haven't been doing as much as we should be doing to leverage the value in the brand. And sometimes I'm convinced that there are some Jamaicans who are working overtime to destroy the brand. But thankfully, we have more Jamaicans who every single day add value to brand Jamaica. Now, when you go to communities in the United Kingdom where there are high populations of Jamaicans and people who associate with Jamaica, if you walk into any of those supermarkets, you are going to see national, a Jamaican product prominently displayed. If you go to Canada, you will see it. In the United States, you will see it. And in the Eastern Caribbean, you will see it. Anywhere there is a Jamaican population or high association with Jamaica. That's the value. That's the spirit of the people expressed in a product. In fact, Butch was telling me that his customers, his wholesale customers who purchase from him say, don't ship anything to us unless it has the brand on it. That's the value. So I'm happy to see that Butch, continuing the tradition of his father, in ensuring that the true value, the true spirit of the Jamaican people, looking out for each other, taking care of each other, taking care of our environment. And I noticed your great thrust towards reducing emission, reducing pollution, not just physical pollution through the emissions, but also noise pollution. Simple thing like removing those terrifying horns on your trucks. Very important. All of that gets into the psyche and the consciousness of your employees, and they in turn put that into every loaf of bread that you brand. So, Carl, your life is an example to all others who are coming up in business and industry. That it is not just about putting up a $6.7 billion factory. That is important, and I'm here to celebrate that as well and to encourage the family to make similar investments more, because that is how we're going to grow. So I've noticed your son, Craig, yeah, I mean, we're going to look forward to another investment announcement maybe another 5 years from now. But it's not just about the money or the physical asset. We also want you to make investments in people. So the Bold Ones initiative that you mentioned, excellent. We're happy to hear that you will be continuing it and expanding it. Those things mean a lot. So, how do we get to peace? A big part of it is what we're doing right here. A big part of it is making the investments that will pull the people in, who we will train to higher order skills so that they can get income, so that they don't have to be drawn into crime. So the truth is, therefore, our industrialists, our businessmen, our small business people have an important role to play in getting us to peace. So I end where I started. Carl, on your birthday, I wish you peace. I can't wish you productivity. You have been productive. You are Mr. Producer. and I dare say continued prosperity. God bless you, and thank you.
Well, one of us has to grow, or we just adjust it down. There you go.
You first.
What do I do? What am I supposed to do?
Well, I'll go then.
All right, you go then. All right, I'll go then.
We can thank PM
All right.
together.
I say thank you, say you. PM, thank you very much. I know you want to come to the West. I knew you were dying to come down here this morning. I just knew it inherently. I knew you want to come down. So we, and ladies and gentlemen, through our natural, shall we say, Chinese fire drill at National, we don't do these things very often. The last time we opened a bread plant was 1951. That's when the groundbreaking was here. So you have to excuse us. It's been a few years. We haven't had much practice at this. And so we forgot a lot of people. And of course, in the last minute, the PM was
You heard of all the products that we
staff
launched
for a
anymore, right?
vacation. And we run around the place. And there's a secret I have to give you. If you can't find the Prime Minister, find Minister Chang. Minister Chang will find the Prime Minister for you. And he did, and I thank you for the late invitations, and I promise you we'll never do it again until the next time. But thank you very much. And again, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for making the effort.
You heard of all the products that we
I'm
launched
thinking
anymore,
about
right?
I'm just thinking about Derek. And Derek, I want to thank you for offering to give us all the
You
flour
heard of all the products that we launched anymore, right?
to fine-tune the line. It won't take much,
Wonderful.
100,000 pounds or so, but no problem, you know. You can run the line for a couple of days to make sure it's good, and we'll give it to the Montagonians to test out the new JFL mill flour made just for the Montego Bay consumer, right? Dee, thank you so much. You're a champion. You're a champion. Folks, thank you. Yes, PM. It's what we do. We can't unapologetic about it. We're just trying to keep it on the way Dad started it. I've tried to improve on it, and I'm charging the next generation to do the same thing. The technology will change. The machines will change. Processes won't change much in bread unless you're trying to cheat. And we don't intend to do it the easy way. We'll do it the right way. There are many easy ways to do it. We haven't adopted that yet. It's a matter of rushing against time and temperature. We don't do it. It's standard in the American industry. Jim can tell you it's a standard thing. What they do in 2 hours, it takes us 18 hours, and that has nothing to do with production. It's a preparation for, and it's a tough way to do it. It works for us. We're not changing. I think we're waiting for Laura to come up here. But before Laura comes up, again one more time, Prime Minister, Honourable Mark Golding, Deputy PM, Arlene. Yes, you in the green shirt, Desmond. Desmond, Mark, Omar, you've been a cheerleader for us since before we broke ground. Same with you, Norman. And Chris, thanks for being here. Very, very important to us. All right? I'm going to leave everybody alone until I'm called back here. All right? But I just did my closing remarks.
Right. We invite the lovely Laura Carr Waits to join us for a toast to our other guest of honor, Mr. Carl Hendrickson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm one of Grandpa's granddaughters, and it's my honor to make a toast to him on his birthday. Grandpa, you've lived a life that only many can dream of. You found the love of your life, with whom you've spent 73 memorable years together with. You're surrounded by a strong and loving family, and you've made your country proud. At the age of 94, you with your never-ending projects and ideas percolating. You always have time for a quick life update, words of guidance, and especially visits from your very high-energy great-grandchildren, with more on the way. I will cherish many stories you have told around the dinner table, many with themes of nation building and national responsibility. Your community has recognized your achievements with many accolades and appreciation. You've taken risks, navigated challenges, and all the while remained grounded in your family and your country. From a young boy, your vision for National Bakery has grown and multiplied in ways that I'm sure you could not have imagined. And to see its achievements and its expansion over the decades must fill you with great pride. In its success, you have remained humble and grateful, and perhaps that is your greatest legacy. I truly feel lucky to call you Grandpa. You are a mentor, a wonderful storyteller, a history lover, a sharp businessman, and a curious kid at heart. To have you in our lives and in the lives of our children has been one of our greatest blessings. So today on your birthday, here's a toast to you. May your day be as splendid as the life you have led. May you always remain young and curious at heart. And may you know that you are loved and appreciated by many. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Cheers, Ad. So much for not drinking before lunchtime. A couple more minutes, please. We have one more bit of housekeeping to take care of. Craig, Matthew, Alex, Amy, Rachel, Laura, Amanda, please, Grandpa. You always want to be on television. Come on, tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, since Mr. H already did his closing remarks, we'll end it right there. Thank you so much for coming. PM, we thank you so much for joining us and making time in your busy schedule to be here. Hendrickson family, we're so grateful that we could be here to celebrate this momentous occasion and this milestone for the company and the family. Please join us for refreshments at the back of the room.